Ready for kickoff in Brunswick. Caught at the 25. And a quick tackle from the special teams unit. Not much Kayvon Miller could do with that one, but solid starting field position for Bolles.
Yep, good start and good return. Ball security is going to be at a premium tonight, so it'll be interesting to see that which team makes the least amount of mistakes and puts their team in a good position.
That's what's really been the difference through these first 4 games, right, Micah? Creekside capitalizing on multiple mistakes by Glen Academy last night to eke out a 21-20 win, where a missed field goal gave them a 3-0 start on the year. University Christian's defense, 4 takeaways and 2 touchdowns in a shutout win earlier this afternoon. More in the gun, Emmett Grisbin, the stud sophomore, in motion out wide. The junior takes the empty set snap and fires a completion immediately to Connor Cox, the South Carolina commit.
I like Bolles. They came out and went empty, shifted the running back. And so they're seeing, when they go empty on that early play, they want to see how Brunswick is going to line up to it and expect for them to run something, maybe a trick or something more down the field later in the game.
One of the most dynamic offenses now because of the strides made by Moore. Coach Toblin said he was a great thrower last year. Now he's a great quarterback. Handoff to Grisbin. A quarterback keeper. He had me fooled. A loss of 4 back to the original line of scrimmage, the 37. Almost surprised to see that Grisbin had a lane right there.
Yeah, it looked like if he would have given the ball, I don't know if it was a strict pull or he had a run option, but he gave and Brunswick gave back.
That replay brought to you by RV Clinics. And on the hard count, the Pirates jump off sides.
And we watched this in the first game where there was a lot of penalties and opportunities for teams to get behind the sticks and get off schedule. So that's going to be a big key, especially if these two teams are equally matched, to see which team can make the least amount of mistakes.
And this Pirates front 7 boasts a lot of talent. Keep an eye on number 8 in white, Kashawn Thomas. Wake Forest commit headlines this stout Pirates defense. Now 3rd and 6 for Moore. With time, looking downfield, but sails it over the head of Chase Collier. And Bolles quickly goes 3 and out.
And I tell you, there's a lot of respect. Bolles has a lot of respect for Brunswick, and I know why, because that defensive line of them, they're stout, they're big, they're fast, and they put a little pressure on Mr. Moore, but he could have got that ball down, but a good 3 and out early start for Brunswick.
That brings on Matthew Berry, the senior punter. 2 return men deep, including the always dangerous Jaden Drayton. High snap, fielded clean. Perry with a good boot. Caught at the 21 by Drayton. Freed up with a nice block. Gets the edge and up the sideline. Pummeled out of bounds, but not before a phenomenal return from the Harvard commit, Jaden Drayton.
And we talked about him in the warm-up, Mr. Drayton. He was able to field the ball punt and get to the opposite side of the field. And if it wasn't for that saving tackle, he probably would have taken that all the way. But already a good start for Brunswick on offense.
Give him 25 on this return. Good block, sprung him loose. Pirates under quarterback J.R. Elkins take over near midfield. Drayton in motion. Quick handoff. Good tackle along the perimeter by Trent Carter. A good gain out to midfield on their first play from scrimmage.
Yes, good job, and they're going to go with a little bit of tempo on this play and see if they can get Bolles misaligned and probably gash him.
Drayton in the backfield. A play action fake. On a comeback route. This ball is caught.
And good hard throw on that play, and do a little play action fake to hold the backers in their position, and the quarterback looking at his number 1 target already, and he was able to make the completion.
Expect to get a heavy dose of Jaden Drayton if you haven't noticed already. He returns kicks, catches passes, runs the ball a whole lot. This carry to another teammate. Stopped right after a quick hit. Tyler Ray, not much he could do there.
And then you can see the defensive line on this play pursuing to the football, and a lot of orange jerseys at the ball to limit that to a 2-yard gain.
Spencer Surface, one of the headliners for the Bulls defense. Senior starter with the stop after a short gain of 2. That pass in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, nearly intercepted on the ricochet by Jacob Campen. But it was in and out of the hands of Caden Holmes as it falls harmlessly to the turf.
And you got to make those plays. I know it's simple pitch and catch, and I know the young man's probably a little nervous. Big game, big atmosphere, but you got to bring that down.
Marker flies in, and Bolles called for offsides.
And as a coach, you gotta kind of just be shaking your head a little bit because the count wasn't even as hard as it could have been. So you've given them an opportunity now to have a run-pass option and possibly pick up this first down.
In 4-down territory at that, too. Elkins puts Heck in motion. To the outside and dropped. Kayvon Miller, the other star in Bolles' defensive backfield. I don't know if you heard footsteps or what, but that's back-to-back key drops on the plus side of the field.
And those are the plays that you want one of your receivers to make, and he's going to come out now, and Coach's going to have a talk to him, and he has the pretty gloves and the pretty shoes and the hoodie, but son, you just got to make that play. So now it comes to the first big play of the game.
Power formation on 4th and 3. Handoff to Heck, and he's stuffed. The defense holds and forces a turnover on downs.
And that was a good job by Bolles, stacking the line of scrimmage and getting a lot of hats to the ball and making sure that the runner was not able to get the line of gain, and tremendous job. You can see at the point of attack, number 52 and 20, all those guys are just swarming to the football and pushing the Brunswick offensive line back into the backfield. And once you push all your linemen into the backfield, it's hard for the running back to find a crease and get to the first down.
Campen had the finishing blow there. A solid team effort to put the Brunswick O-line on their heels.
This is shaping up to be a good one. You got 2 high-powered, well-coached teams competing tonight.
Bulldogs take over at their own 35. More keeps. Probes. Over the middle. Cut by Burrows for a first down and more across midfield. Gave the fabulous freshman 17 yards on this reception.
That's a good job by Mr. Burrows. I'm a friend of his dad's, but great job. A basketball player his dad was, but he's showing the great hands as a football player catching the ball, and he's having a great freshman campaign and moving the sticks for the Bulldogs.
I'll see some of the improvement of DJ Moore. How about that throw right there across his body and deliver it on a line to his receiver? For this next snap, another penalty marker down on the far side of the field. Brunswick called for an illegal substitution as Bolles was trying to pick up the pace.
And early on, you can see that, this is going to be a good coaching battle to see what adjustments can be made early in. And they're going to have to keep making adjustments throughout this game.
Now 1st and 5 from the 43. Out wide to Burrows. Hauls in another reception. And a yard shy of a first down. After the play, another marker flies in.
And I see Bolles 3 times now going to the stacked receiver formation.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the Bulldogs, and Toblin's heated on his sideline.
And he's having a nice conversation. I don't know how nice it is with one of his offensive linemen, and he's upset because we talked about this a lot earlier, but when you get penalties and you get off schedule, and now it puts you in a position where you were going in trying to move the ball and get into score in the red zone, and now you find yourself back on your side of the field with a 2nd and 16.
Something he really praised his team for, their composure, despite trailing 20-17 at halftime against Mandarin last week. On their second drive, handoff to Grisbin. Up the sideline. Pushed out right in front of the first down marker. He gets 15 yards back just like that.
Yes, and that was a good play. Good job up front, man on man. Nobody was holding. Got a good block from a receiver, 15, and then I like the way the runner with the orange and blue reminds me of running back from for the Jags and used to be a Gator, Fred Taylor, but way to get that 28, but way to finish the run and get close to the first down.
Coach Toblin calls him special. Trying to replace Cade Frew, now with Air Force. Not an easy thing to do. Give to the sophomore on 3rd and 1. Takes a punishing blow, but has just enough for a first down.
And one thing that Bolles offense have come out with early, they're giving them multiple formations. I think that was the 6th package they've come out in. They've stacked the receivers, they've spread. I think they went empty. That time they had 2 tight ends. They shift a motion. So they've given multiple looks and a lot for the Brunswick defense to have to digest.
New set of downs. Keep an eye on Burrows at the top of your screen. They'll give it to Grisbin a 3rd straight time and nowhere to go on this carry. Blown up by River Creel, the junior defensive lineman.
And on that one, you can see the defender absorbing the block and shedding the block and then running to the ball. And I think Bolles will have the advantage when they go downhill. But if they try to stretch and run wide on this Brunswick defense, that's going to be to a Brunswick advantage.
Two-way star Ivan Johnson also in on the stop. Still a gain of 1 from Grisbin. Up the middle this time. And every hole plugged up for him. Still manages to get the 34, but now 3rd down and 6.
All right, so you're still in the manageable position. It's probably in 4-down territory. So right now you're trying to put your best play. You can still run the ball or you can pass with the short games before the defensive line can get there. But you have options right now if you're Bolles. But what you can't do is take a sack or get a penalty.
Behind this veteran offensive line, the Bulldogs face 3rd and 6, nearly midway through the opening quarter. Slinging it out to Burrows. Makes one defender miss, and another. Almost lost the football, hangs on tightly as the Bulldogs once again get just enough to move the chains.
Yes, and he threw it to one of his favorite targets in the game so far, Mr. Burrows, the freshman. And I must say, this freshman has a wiggle. It's something kind of special about him. That's my first time seeing him live, but the way he can catch the ball with his hands, he's shifty, he's big, he has a big frame, a big target, he runs well, and he's going to be a big a part of the Bolles offense tonight.
Naeem Burrows, younger brother of Quincy, former Reign star, now at Cincinnati. Moore rolls out, fires downfield, and broken up. A little underthrown, looking for Caleb Lampkins.
And that was a good play. Good play by the Pirates, number 4. I think it was Leggett. But he was able to make up. He was beat a little bit early on that play. Bolles rolled left. DJ Moore rolls left a little bit and throws against his body and comes in and breaks up the play that could have been almost a touchdown.
So close, but an impressive job to twist and turn to try to get back to the football. 2nd and 10 from the 27. Grisbin lowers his head and puts the defense on its back.
And right now, Bolles is making sure they keep the defense honest. They threw it last time on 1st down, but they want to run the ball. They want to be physical. They want to hit you in the mouth and keep moving and keep themselves in manageable situations.
Bolles has converted on the 2 3rd downs it has faced. Trying to get Burrows back in the game. stays on the sideline for now. All 11 in orange, looking to the sideline for some instructions.
It's interesting to see in this heavyweight battle, you're seeing the punches and the counter punches and the change of strategies early.
Coach Tobin burns his first time out watching the play clock run down. Let's use this time to check in with Mia O'Brien downstairs. Check on that. We'll come back to Mia in a moment, but first, a hydration break. This brought to you by Body Armor. Big third down coming up next for Bolles. Bolles driving here in the first quarter. Trying to break this scoreless game at the moment. Before key third down, let's go downstairs and check in with Mia O'Brien.
Hey, Sean, two of the biggest X factors for Bolles on this drive. Offense as they enter the post-game have been freshman wide receiver Naeem Burrows, who I know you guys have given some love to so far in this broadcast, and then sophomore running back Emmett Brisbane. Obviously, a tough task to fill the void left by Cade Frew. More than 20 touchdowns each of the past 2 seasons for the Bulldogs. But Coach Toblin told me earlier this week that Brisbane has the ability down the road to one day fill that void. He had 3 touchdowns a week ago. Obviously, he's been able to get the ground game going so far for Bolles here tonight. He's a little bit more of a shifty back than necessarily Cade Frew was, a little bit more of a bowling ball. And so it'll be interesting to see in this dual back system how the Bulldogs are able to replace that production left by Frew, who is now off to the Air Force Academy.
Yeah, you can't just replace Cade Frew. That's almost impossible to say. And yet, these 2 sophomore running backs Bolles has used for the first couple games of the season have filled in admirably. After an incompletion on third down, the Bulldogs are set to try a 40-yard kick and now receive a gift along the edge from the Pirates, who jump off sides for the second time this quarter.
And I know that won't be a first down, but definitely Coach Toblin is going to bring his offense back out and see if they can get a yard and get the first down.
Now 4th and 1. DJ Moore's in the huddle. It appears to be the plan for the Bulldogs. Now in the red zone for the first time tonight, brought to you by Douglas Phelps, State Farm Insurance.
Here, you're going to go with your best 2 linemen combo, and you're going to run right at them, and you're going to see if your good big guys are better than their good big guys.
They got for number 70, Brendan Black, to lead the way. They give to Brisbane. The O-line holds, and he powers his way through. Just what Mia was saying, huh?
And I like that finish because it was 4th and 1, and he had a chance to probably bounce it, but he could have got tackled for a loss, but he stuck his left foot in the ground and got up the field, and great vision on that one. Good job and protecting the football and running and getting the first down.
Coach Toblin said what he loves most about his power back is he hits that hole right where you need him to go, but he really absorbs that contact and knows how to fall forward. That's what makes him so special as a sophomore. Moore to the air, to the end zone, but out of bounds. Trying to find Burrows. 2nd and 10 from the 13.
And I like Bolles throwing it on first down. They tried to take a quick shot, a little corner route to Burrows. It looked like it was defended well by the Brunswick Pirates defender and give 2nd down.
Now swapping in Jake Hogan, the fullback. The chess match continues for Coach Toblin in his 4th season. Coming off an 8-3 year where the Bulldogs fell short in the state championship semifinals. Brisbane through the teeth of the defense. Upended shy of the 10. Only a gain of 2. This Pirates defense really trying to hold after a nice sustained drive by Bolles.
Right, and Bolles, they would love to punch this one in. They're inside the red zone, getting close, and it'll be interesting to see the play calling on this one here because you could run it, but they'll probably try to throw it.
The Pirates jump, but no flag. This drive started all the way back at Bolles' own 35. Moore looks left. Throws the lob. It's intercepted! On the spot, Ivan Johnson.
Wow, tremendous play by the young the senior cornerback.
The field general for Coach Grady's defense comes up with a massive stop in the red zone.
And Bolles tried to run a wheel route from the number 3 position. And I think DJ just put a little bit too much air on it and threw it to the inside, and it gave the cornerback an opportunity to make a play on him, which he did.
Feel pretty comfortable lobbing it up to Connor Cox. 6'6" tight end target in the end zone. Great positioning for Johnson as the Pirates take over. This is Drayton on a first down carry.
And Brunswick getting back to work quickly and snapping it and trying to get their playmakers the ball.
He earns a 3-yard gain. It'll be tough sledding for each offense tonight. What can the Pirates do with the first takeaway of the game? 3 to play in the opening quarter. Second drive for the Pirates. To the air. Caught, but shy of the first down. Good route coming back to the football by Terry Mitchell. And a bullet thrown by the junior quarterback Elkins.
Good protection on that time. Max Pro was able to hit the receiver for the good pass.
Brunswick moving fast. Hands it off. Drayton has the first down. Lunges forward to the 32.
And Brunswick with the no huddle, they get the play in, and when they want to go quick tempo and catch the defense off balance, Bolles, they do a good job on that play, getting it snapped and getting the 3 yards for the first down.
This Brunswick team can really move. 11-1 last year. Put up nearly 37 points per game. Play action fake. This ball just out of reach and over the head of Mitchell.
And everything Brunswick runs is off the play action fake and the zone read concept. And their quarterback, he sticks it and he shows it. And what that does is it makes the linebackers have to respect the run, and it gives the receivers a good chance to get into good passing positions.
Coach Grady has said those little things, those small movements have been the difference in his progression. The first-year starter airs it out down the field and connects on another strike, but Bolles rips the ball away. How about that?
Wow.
Give me that ball, Trent Carter.
Wow. That was a sports center type play. I saw the receiver didn't really have full possession of the ball, but good job by Trent Carter coming in, never giving up on the play. He saw the receiver, saw the ball, and just came and took the ball. And that's a great play. And not only did he able to take the ball, but he also got it all the way down inside the red zone again and made a huge play for the Bolles Bulldogs in the first quarter.
It started with the hit from Kayvon Miller. But how about the awareness? Trent Carter, seeing that the ball was loose the entire time, that knee never touched, forward progress really never upended. What a great spot for the officials not to blow the whistle too early. Bolles takes over at the 21 with Grisbin. Sidesteps one defender and falls forward to the 13, but another penalty is down.
And like another penalty, and we talked about this earlier in the game, penalties and mistakes, and both these penalties, I know it's first quarter, but they're starting to rack them up, and referee's going to be tired by the end of this game. Their arm's going to be tired because every play they're throwing a flag.
This is part of that early season. You have to understand, get things down, but it doesn't help you today. Only game 3 for the Pirates and Bulldogs tonight. Off a takeaway from its defense. Bulldogs trying to score here in the final minutes of the opening quarter. Grisbin cuts back inside. Nowhere to go. The Pirates have done a nice job containing him to start this game.
Absolutely, and they're just making sure to get hats and bodies to the ball. So if he's able to elude one, defender. Someone else is there to clean it up.
Bolles more than content to work the clock. What Toblin's excited about for this offense is last year it was here's Cade, and now it's more dynamic. They work in a couple of different running backs, more the dual threat. Can certainly make plenty of plays himself. 2 out wide, Burrows in the slot. They look for him on the slant, but it slips through his fingers a little high with the defense from Keon Leggett.
And that's a good battle right there. What Bolles was trying to do, they weren't necessarily trying to pick up the first down on second down. They just wanted to kind of make it a little bit more manageable. So now they're in a little longer distance situation. So Brunswick has the advantage. They can get the pass rush there and make sure they play the sticks so Bolles doesn't get the first down.
The Bulldogs were happy to try about a 40-yard field goal on that last drive. They're in line for another attempt from that distance. 3rd and 13, they play it safe with Grisbin. Taking a beating on his way to the turf.
And I think on that, Coach Toblin was probably thinking if he was able to get a good run and get close, maybe go for it, but at worst, give his team an opportunity to kick a field goal and take the early lead.
So once again, they bring on Matthew Berry. Kayvon Miller will hold. Miller actually recognized it. They don't have to get this snap off before the end of the quarter. Berry's ready. Good snap, good hold, good pursuit. And this ball is up and good. As time expires in the first quarter of play, Matthew Berry delivers. 41-yarder to kick off the scoring tonight. You know it's going to go back and forth for the next 36 minutes. Off to a hot start here. Each defense creating a takeaway for their offense. After one, Bolles 3, Brunswick 0. Chipper Jones, Mac Jones. A couple of famous alumni for the Bulldogs. Berry punches this one high in the air. Takes a bounce. And good forward first step by Nishik Cohen. That looked like it was going to go out of bounds, and the Bulldogs are ready to pounce on that.
Yeah, that was a perfect kick, and if the receiver did not act quickly, Bolles probably could have got on top of that and got the ball back.
Again, that's where we've seen some miscues from some of these teams throughout this event. Through no fault of their own, the rain has been relentless the last 30 hours. But it's finally subsided. Clear skies for now here in Brunswick, Georgia. The Pirates on their home field take over at the 33. And this handoff to start the drive goes nowhere. Garrison Butler quickly making a name for himself tonight.
Yes, and Mr. Butler is bench pressing anyone that gets in his way. He's just bench pressing them, throwing them out of the way, and making the play.
I don't want 6'2", 65 on my back. Only 3 down linemen on 2nd and 11. To the outside. This pass caught. Mitchell makes amends for his fumble on the last drive.
And that time they double-teamed the big fella, and they gave their quarterback enough time to be able to deliver a strike to number 10.
And off to the left side. One tackle broken, but nowhere else to go for Jamarius Towns. Bulldog injured on the field. Kamani Wilson being attended to. Looking at that throw again. How tough is that for a first-year starter to make?
That's a long throw, and you gotta have first of all you gotta get the snap, and then you gotta get the good timing and release the ball. And he's doing a good job. I see he's standing tall in the pocket for a left-handed quarterback. He's throwing it with authority. He's being decisive with it, and he's thrown some pretty good balls. And he's had 4 drops, and even the interception really wasn't his fault. He threw it right in the breadbasket of the young man, and it was taken away from him.
J.R. Elkins ready to retake the field. The Brunswick Pirates Team with some pride and really trying to make some noise under new head coach Garrett Grady. Have won 12 straight games on this field. He said, we're really learning a lot about each other. We took down one of the top 10 teams in our WJXT top 10 rankings this week in Andrew Jackson in a 23-13 win to open the year. So that's when we realized we knew how good we could be. And this is a good run for the Pirates. Onto the plus side of the field again. And with a first down at the 44, William Heck rumbles ahead for the Pirates.
And once again, they're quickly back with the ball and ready for the next snap.
Heck with a leather again. Wrapped up by Surface, finished off by Miller.
And I think Bolles doesn't like tempo. They're getting their calls, and when Brunswick can just get on the ball and just go downhill, they're having success against the Bulldogs defense.
You need to have positive plays in order to do that, right?
Yes.
Finally stringing some momentum together. The Bulldogs nearly jump off sides after a 4-yard gain on first down. Off to the right side, a cut back inside. Towns down to the 26.
And right now, they're just going straight ahead at the Bolles defense, putting body on the body. We have the guard pulling a little bit, going downhill. The young man going downhill and getting the first down.
Caleb Butler, the wide receiver, also had a great seal. Another run. Towns stumbles ahead, manages to stay on his feet just long enough to get that extra yard, and another Bulldog player is down back at the line of scrimmage.
And if that's who I think it is, that's not good for the Bulldogs, and he's been disrupting the game so far, and good to see the young man up on the feet. He took a knee back. But what Brunswick has decided to do, I said, okay, we're not our receivers are having some success, but we had a few drops. What they're going to do, they're just going to try to run, take advantage of the Bolles defense, and run downhill.
About to take their next snap at the 22, but for this Bolles group, again, talking about that gut check win last week against Mandarin, you don't know what to expect. Coach Toblin was honest in his expectations. He said, hey, we just want to be better each game we play. And for a team that has state championship aspirations year in and year out, this group certainly seems more than up to the task.
Absolutely, and they're following the legacy of the Bulldogs of the past. And you see 11 state championships. That's some pride when you put on that orange and blue uniform and you come out and compete for Bolles.
It's amazing. More than 24 players currently active at the college level in the last 3 years since Coach Toblin took over. Heck with another handoff and put down to set up third down. Mia, what do you have?
Hey, Sean, you're seeing firsthand the Cubs in action. Yes, last year the running back room for the Brunswick Pirates was called the Wolfpack. Now you're seeing a group of young running backs. That includes William Heck, the sophomore, Even Johnson, who actually is a converted safety, the senior, junior Nishek Cohen, and then, of course, Jamarius Towns, also a sophomore. They're running behind an offensive line that 4 of the 5 returned from last year, the 5th offensive lineman from last year's undefeated regular season squad, Kanaya Charlton, who now plays for the Florida State Seminoles. Oh, and by the way, he is here with the Seminoles on their bye week over on the Brunswick sideline.
Like Bolles, Brunswick boasts a lot of talent, but some mental mistakes pre-snap from each team. Good to see Butler shake off the stinger. Back in for a key 3rd and 1. Heck keeps the legs moving. And his second effort, enough for a fresh set of downs.
And that was very close. Bolles did a good job of stacking up everything at the line, and the chains are going to move, and it's going to give Brunswick a first down inside the 20.
We know Brunswick wants to move, but sometimes slow and steady wins the race. Already 3.5 minutes into this drive, but the clock will stop at 8:34 because of a false start.
Yes, and young man number 13, Mr. Thomas, he's having a rough evening so far. But these are the penalties and the mental mistakes that when you're playing against competition that's really good and on equal footing, you can't have these mistakes if you want to win the ball game.
Elkins dropped the ball and has to dive on it back at the 29. Going back to what you were just saying, Micah, each coach said, yeah, we're treating this like a state championship matchup. So by the end, because both teams are so even, we're going to look back at that play. That was the play that decided, and Coach Toblin specifically said, we want to make sure we're prepared to be on the right side of that.
Yep, and you can't have those mental miscues, poor snaps.
Some penalties for both sides. One giveaway for each offense. Mitchell in motion. Elkins to the safety valve. And his speedy receiver can run. Gets the loss back on the previous down, and Surface holds him up. Enough before whistles. Bail him out and stop the ball around the 20.
And you got to figure, I'm not sure how Brunswick's kicking game is, but you're outside. I mean, it's not a chip shot by no means, but can you get halfway there to give yourself an option of going for it on fourth down?
This drive started all the way back at Brunswick's own 33. They've held it for nearly 5 minutes. Mitchell in motion on 3rd and 13. Before the snap, a timeout with the play clock winding down. First time out of the half for Coach Grady. Like we saw with Bolles trying to punch it in back in the first quarter. They ended up throwing an interception on that drive, settled for a field goal on another off the turnover. We'll take a hydration break on the field. It's brought to you by Body Armor. Brunswick trying to take the lead, and we return. The inaugural Georgia-Florida Border Classic. Hopefully the first of many as the Sunshine and Peach States go toe-to-toe in this event. Third down, Elkins drops it. Loose ball on the field. And a fortuitous bounce has the ball roll right into the arms of the junior quarterback. But almost a near disaster. We're going to be tough now on 4th and very long.
And that's on this series, you're in the red zone and you have a opportunity to score and put up points. You have 2 bad snaps, penalties, and just drive killers.
An awkward bounce, and Bolles is taking that for 6 the other way.
Absolutely. Right now, probably going to try to run 4 verts and get someone deep and possibly get a penalty.
4th and 24. They need a prayer. And knocked away. Kayvon Miller ends the drive with a bang for the Bulldogs.
Tremendous play. I thought he might have undercut it a little bit too much, but just the last little burst and his leaping ability, he was able to knock down the ball. And just like you thought, I thought little slant double moves. They tried to run the 4 verts, and he was open. He was open, and just the ball was was thrown a little bit too much to the inside. If it would have been more to the outside, he probably would have had a touchdown.
Yeah, he left his feet maybe a little early, but getting the extension. Coach Toblin really crediting his safeties, Miller and Surface, just how they take away so much from their opponents. Brisbane receives the handoff on Bolles' first offensive play this quarter. It comes at the midway mark, but that 3-0 lead still intact.
And we talked about this was a heavyweight matchup earlier. Right now, Bolles is going to the body. They're using the run game, and they're just kind of just keep leaning on Brunswick, and it's going to pay off later. Once you get in the 3rd and 4th quarter, you'll see they'll be more effective moving the ball because they are paying attention to the run game.
Brisbane, a workhorse, had 29 carries for $165 last week. They continue to pound the rock here in the first half. But Brunswick really doing a nice job containing and limiting any big play.
Yep, they're just trying to make sure they get hats and rally to the ball and make Bolles make plays on the outside.
3rd and 5. This is maybe where Bolles' offense has been most effective so far tonight. They've been living for 3rd down and converting it with relative ease. A couple of times the Pirates jump.
Man.
Not getting away with much. And for those that don't know, if you're really getting ready for Sunday, high school, a lot different. Once you jump in the neutral zone, that flag's thrown. You can't jump back and get there in time before the snap.
Yes, and that's just a mental mistake, and you can't do that, and now you've given Bolles a fresh set of downs.
Before Bolles can take a first down snap, Coach Grady running to the official to call his second timeout with 4:42 to play.
In this early battle, I love what both teams are doing, how they're matching up and making changes and trying to look gamesmanship, seeing if you can get them to jump. Both sides are trying to get them to jump off sides, and it's a great schedule right here.
Yeah, off to a strong start, taking down Jackson. I know your alma mater there, but also gutting out a Camden County win. They had the extra week to get ready for Bolles. Glen Academy, who we saw last night. What's a manageable expectation for Brunswick based on what you've seen through nearly 24 minutes?
Oh, they're a tremendous team. They're well coached. They have guys all over the field that can play. And with the expectation with last year's record and this year, I think they're going to want to they want to win every game, and they want to make a run in the Georgia State playoffs.
Ran the table in the regular season last year. But Coach Grady wanting this matchup, wanting to test his team, saying, are we as good as the best? Doesn't matter if it's Jacksonville, South Georgia, Atlanta. We want to see how we stack up. We really think this team is capable of being a state champion because we have that fight and hunger after getting knocked out in the second round 3 consecutive seasons. Brunswick defense has bent. It is not broken yet. Looking for a stop, trailing 3-0. Grisbin cuts back to his left, has a nice gain out to the 48-yard line. Give him 6, as it's just been a war of attrition up front for the Bulldogs.
And that was just a good run. They were trying to run a little zone action to the right side, but the defense was pursuing, and he just put his foot in the ground and went straight up the field. And I like the way he finishes and delivered a blow at the end of that run.
Classic power back that will have the defenders reaching for the ice bath by the end of the night. Up the gut again. It takes a village to bring down Grisbin. Kashawn Thomas, one of the most talented players on this defense for Brunswick. The Wake Forest commit and Brunswick News 2021 Defensive Player of the Year on the stop to make it 3rd down and 3.
And he sniffed out that run. We had the counter with the 2 pullers, and he just snuck behind him and made that play.
Riding Grisbin, but nowhere to go. Upended at midfield. Brunswick defense holds with the clock rolling towards 3 minutes left in the first half.
And Coach Tobin has to have his first kind of major decision, and he's going to choose the field position with 3 minutes left in the quarter.
It is part of the plan. It may not be going to perfection early, but that's what worked so well in the Mandarin win last week. Coach Tobin said we just wore them down by the second half. So we were down 20-17 at the break, but we got stronger as time went on. Our defense made the adjustments, and our offense took over and ate up most of that second half clock. Barry on to punt. Faces pressure, but gets it off in time. Off a hop, caught by Mitchell. And swarmed by Bulldogs. And put down at the 21-yard line. 1 timeout left. 2:28 to play here in the first half. A defensive battle. It's really been the front 7 from each side getting it done in some key plays made in red zones.
Absolutely, and Brunswick probably it should be tied now if they could at least put a field goal up on the last possession. But now, it'll be good to see if they can drive the ball down the field in this last 2 minutes and 28 seconds and get in the end zone.
Elkins hands it off. On first down, a quick wrap-up and throw down for the Bulldogs defense. William Heck, who's had a couple of nice runs, but for both offenses, they've come few and far between.
Absolutely. Now, it looks like right now, if Bolles gets a good stop on this play, they probably use a timeout and try to get the ball back.
Carter had the forced fumble. Has the tackle there. Pressure comes along the outside. Elkins out of time. Heaves it towards the sideline, incomplete.
And that's even better for Bolles. They don't have to use a timeout. The clock stops, and now they have a 3rd and 9 situation, so they can possibly get back on the field and put some points on the board. .156 left. Clock stops on 3rd and 9. Trips to the right of Elkins. Keep an eye of 18 in white. Jaden Drayton been a little quiet here. Doesn't have too many touches for the Pirates early. Elkins looks right. Throws to Mitchell, but too high. Couldn't corral it. And it drops incomplete. What a 3 and out for this Bulldogs defense. A unit that lost 3 FBS players from last year. Jack Pyburn goes to Florida. Hayden Schwartz, Minnesota. Bradley Mann, Vanderbilt. And yet, here they are, just like last year. It's like clockwork with this team. Yes, and they're playing against this is a good Brunswick offense and a good Brunswick team, and they're just limiting them, their possessions and their touches.
Coach Dublin has said, we rely on all 11 to execute this year. Last year, we could set up one of those 3 in some of our favorite spots, and they could bail us out with a big play. Good angled punt from Brunswick. Takes a hop out of bounds at the 46. 2-minute drill for Bolles. What do you look for here?
You just want to see on the first play, see if you can get a chunk play. Probably you want to try to go a screen or maybe throw some hitches or something to get the chains and get the ball moving and then get to the line. But Burrows had a good first quarter. They'll see if they can go back and find a young man and see if he can get down the field and get loose.
Bolles declines an illegal shift penalty. I'm almost surprised. Thankfully, the rain has stayed away after it has rained more than 4 inches in the area since yesterday afternoon. The Bolles content to keep it on the ground and hope those running lanes open up late in the second half. Still time to do something in the first. Moore with a fake and launches downfield. He has an open receiver, but it's dropped. Lampkins had a chance for a big catch and run. Instead, it's 2nd and 10.
And they were in that stack formation again, and they ran the hitch and go, and everything was set up. The quarterback, DJ Moore, good pump, hitch, and it hits him right in the hands, and he's dancing. He's going to hit his head on the goal post, and I know the young man wants that one back.
I know you said it earlier today in our University Christian game. Sometimes the hardest ball to catch is the time you're most open.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, the former pro says it must be gospel.
It is.
2nd and 10 to the outside. Burrows can't come up with it.
And drops are contagious. They spread, and just that's 2 back-to-back for the Bulldogs.
It's like some Space Jam thing. We've been seeing it from a lot of receivers through these first 2 days of this event. Mostly because they've been forced to run the ball through the heavy rains. Right now, we're just under the lights playing Friday night football. Only 10 seconds have come off the clock here since the start of the Bulls' drive. We saw what Brunswick can do once they establish some momentum with its offense. 3rd and 10, Grisbin hit at the line and dropped after a short 2-yard gain. Thomas again making an impact and really keeping Bolles' offense frustrated.
And I know Coach Toblin's a little upset with this drive, and they had great field position, and you've been waiting. They've been running that stack, and they've been waiting to take a shot. Perfect opportunity, and they call it a dial it up, and then unable to get any movement on this drive.
Yeah, Coach Grady is an offensive line guy. He said, I just love how my 6'2", 280-pound senior plays football because he plays it the right way, and that's why he was garnering all kinds of offers, like from South Carolina, Duke, Iowa State. Was the catalyst to their 10-point win over Jackson, and before the snap, more whistles and a brief stoppage for a delay of game in the final minute of the quarter.
So you don't want to get sloppy if you're Bolles. You want to make sure you protect on this punt, go cover, and don't let a big return come from this.
Oh, and it certainly can come from Terry Mitchell, the junior, back at his own 22. Ready to get this kick from Matthew Berry. Takes a tough snap on a hop, still gets it away, and right to the return man. Mitchell looking for the edge. He has it for a big gain up the sideline. Finally forced out at midfield, and they'll tack on 15 more for a late hit. There is another flag down on the far side of the field.
This is going to be interesting here.
Goodness gracious me.
And I think one might be a dead ball and a live ball.
One we definitely know is a late hit. We saw Coach Grady, as well as a Brunswick player, look upset on a potential hold call. Purely speculation right now with 32 seconds to play. Let's wait to see the signal from referee Mike Ketchum.
You know, something we're going to have to watch in the second half is when Bolles has the punt. That's been two that Brunswick's been close to.
I guess a broken clock is right twice a day.
Yes.
So the penalty occurred at Brunswick's own 38. And that's where it is enforced. And so from the 28, we're going to do a little salsa dancing here on this Friday night. So back 10 and then plus 15. Still nearly midfield after a gem of a return by Mitchell.
And it was a pretty good punt, but when you have big punts and you don't get down there and cover quick enough, that means you have to return a lot of space, and it can create something.
We know Brunswick quarterback J.R. Elkins has the arm to get it downfield in a hurry. Only has one timeout as he puts Heck in motion, and he fires to the safety valve on 1st and 10. Staying in bounds, that ball punched loose and quickly recovered by Deron Monroe. Second forced fumble by Bolles today, and the clock's still moving with 10 seconds left.
Yes, definitely got to hold on to the ball.
Final play of the half. Elkins drops the ball and Bolles recovers. The defense on point for Bolles in this first half. A couple of takeaways on this punch-out. It's Garrison Butler. Let's go downstairs with Mia, who has Coach Toblin.
Thanks, Sean. With that fumble recovery, 2 turnovers in the first half for the Bolles Bulldogs, as well as 2 forced 4-and-outs, a big 4-down stop. First time you guys have held an opponent scoreless in a first half. When you hear all those stats, Coach Toblin, what does that mean to you?
Right now we're playing really well on defense, that our kids are playing exceptionally hard, and that's a good football team. They're big, they're fast, they're athletic, but we're getting some good breaks our way, and obviously we're going to have to play better in the second half to continue to if we're going to pull this game out. But I'm really, really, really proud of the fight that our team is putting up right now.
Coach, we'll see you then. Best of luck in the second half.
Thank you very much.
Well, we know Coach Toblin can make those necessary adjustments. We are locked in the type of battle we expected in Brunswick. 24 down, 24 to go. leads it 3-0 in the inaugural Georgia-Florida Border Classic. Matthew Berry, who scored the game's only points, kicks off from the 40. An angled kick that goes out of bounds in front of Tavion Gadsden. Good starting field position for Brunswick, a team that, when it strung together a couple of positive plays, proved to be tough to stop.
Yes, they're a high-caliber team, and they have a lot of weapons on the outside and running the ball. So if they can just 5 yards, that would be the focus. 5 yards on every play, they'll be able to move the ball.
Much easier said than done, especially against this 11-man defense from Bolles. Locked in as one unit despite losing their top 3 defenders, all Power 5 players this fall. What was really impressive is not only how they beat Mandarin last week, but one of the best players in Jacksonville, in Florida, in the country, Jamie French, was shut down in that second half. This drive starts at the 37. Handoff comes around for Heck. He's held up by Surface. But a flag came in almost as soon as the ball was handed off to the sophomore running back. More laundry on the field, another hold on Brunswick.
All right, and the holding eliminates the clean game that Coach was referring to, but you just start off your first drive, the third quarter. You want to get everything moving, and you put yourself in a hole, and now you're, first and 20, and now you're in a pass-first situation that gives the defense a chance to rush you.
Surface, a senior starter, great lacrosse player too. That's what he'll play at the next level. Been in on a number of stops, and he flies around, really earning that respect from Coach Grady on the opposite sideline. As Mia mentioned, he called him and Kayvon Miller one of the best defensive backfields he's ever seen. Handoff on 1st and 20. Another run that goes nowhere. Well, it seems like Bolles knows the play before it happens because they're guessing right. But a face mask penalty going to give Brunswick 15 yards.
And that'll help with this drive. And you're correct, though. Bolles, they know what Brunswick's trying to do, and they're putting guys in position to make those plays and stop them.
It's almost back to the original line of scrimmage. 1st and 8. Coach Grady spearheading the ship after spending his last 5 years as the defensive coordinator for Brunswick. They'll give it up. A couple of broken tackles, but ultimately it goes nowhere. Skylar Malone has the finishing tackle.
And right now, the Bulldogs are just winning the line of scrimmage, right? They're just pressing their guys back, and they're just penetrating and causing just a lot of havoc in the backfield for Brunswick.
Ivan Johnson gets his first carry on that previous play. Had the interception in the end zone back in the first half. The 3-year defensive starter now moving to running back this year. Finding great success with it. Only picks up a yard on his first carry. Play action fake for Elkins. Loads up and unleashes and nearly intercepted by Surface. Well, that just falls in line with everything Coach Matt Toblin says about his senior safety. Says it always seems like he runs a 4.4 40 because he's in the right spot at the right time almost every single play.
And he was all over that end cut. And oh, man, I know he wish he could have had that one back, and that's why sometimes the DBs are DBs instead of receivers. And that's because of their hands.
We'll give him the pass defended for now. Surface so gritty and tough as a defender. Like he's made his name with the Bulldogs lacrosse team. 3rd down and 7. Setting up the screen, but it's dropped by Heck.
And Bolles on that play, that screen probably would not have been successful anyway because Bolles only rushed 3, and they were converging on the ball. So, once again, a missed opportunity for the Pirates.
Bolles sends back Caleb Lampkins to return the latest punt. I know with the way football's played today, you almost want to get upset and say only 3-0, a minute and a half in the third quarter. You can't do anything after a 15-yard penalty. It's just how good these defenses are. Tough snap fielded, nearly blocked. Surface almost got to it.
And no flag. Oh, that was close.
A Pirate bounce inside the 30. Looked like there may have been contact. Maybe a cell. Surface kicking himself, walking back to the sideline as Brunswick nearly avoids a disaster on its own end. Let's go back down to Mia.
Thanks, Sean. As the Bolles offense gets back to head onto the field, what you have been seeing tonight with this Bolles offense is an offense that is still going to be dedicated to the run, as they have been throughout Matt Toblin's tenure, throughout Corky Rogers' illustrious tenure here at Bolles. But as opposed to years past when they had Cade Frew, and even when the run game wasn't working, they would still stick with the run game. You're seeing the emergence of DJ Moore. You're seeing the emergence of guys like Naeem Burrows, the freshman sensation who is averaging 98 yards per catch so far in his first 2 games of his high school career. And so what you'll see more and more is this Bolles offense getting more creative than it ever has in Matt Toblin's tenure here at the Bolles School.
Yeah, he loves how much more dynamic his team is this year. Kind of what we were saying when you look at that Mandarin win last week. It was, well, this guy, Emmett Grisbin, really stepping up. DJ Moore in that offensive line where they chewed up most of that second half clock, including the final 6 minutes of the fourth quarter, to preserve a 7-point win. It was a loss of 1 on their first play from scrimmage this half. Play action fake. Moore delivers a strike along the sideline. Couldn't get the feet in order. Lampkins also dropped the football. It's another 3rd and long.
And I love the play call there. Play action, and it kind of fooled the defense, and the receivers wide open and just couldn't make the pitch and catch on the Brunswick sideline.
He can really zip the football. Moore, who's making significant strides after he only threw the ball 84 times last year in 11 games. Really stepping up over the summer despite an elbow issue in the spring. Really becoming a student of the game and learning all kinds of looks. Pocket holds on 3rd and 11. Dangerous throw intercepted. Down the sideline. Tackled just shy of the goal line. And in one play, Tavon Gadsden gives Brunswick all the momentum.
And that was a long throw. Tavon Mitchell was all over that. He saw that where it was coming and made the play. And it's the difference between, sometimes the difference in the game is one team, Bolles had a chance to make a pick 6 earlier. This time, the Pirates were able to capitalize on it and get the ball down to the goal line.
Gadsden just waiting and tackled for it at the 1.
And that was a hard hit for DJ Moore, and hopefully he's okay. I saw him going a little gingerly to the sideline, but Pirates capitalized on a big play and puts their team in optimal position.
Brunswick takes over at the 1. In the red zone, brought to you by Don Mason, State Farm Insurance. Power formation. Mitchell receives the direct snap and dances into the end zone. Brunswick finally breaks through thanks to its defense.
Yes, and a big play, a turnover. The clean game is gone for Bolles, and they were Brunswick. The Pirates were able to get it all the way down to the goal line and a little wildcat action, and into the end zone goes the Pirates.
Jump around, Terry Mitchell. He certainly earned it. First touchdown of the year for the junior. Wide receiver running back combo. A critical extra point to be attempted. McLean Finneran splits the uprights. 7-3, Pirates on top, thanks to the interception by Gadsden.
And on this play, on the touchdown play, great blocking, down, pull, wrap around into the end zone. The young man goes for the touchdown, and what I like about it, they didn't try to get fancy on the goal line. Like you said, they just put man on the man, body on the body. wrap and follow behind the blockers to the end zone. And now the good part about this is Brunswick had a lot of adversity in the first half. They were getting punched in the mouth a little bit about Bolles. Now let's see how this Bolles team can come back and respond to being down on the road in the Border Classic.
And back-to-back weeks, they have faced stiff competition. If you're a coach for a team that says it wants to win a state championship, no way to test yourself than in September.
Yeah, now's the time, and this is a good team. So you're going to have the short memory right now, DJ Moore. Get those guys back out there, establish the run, use your play-action fake, and try to start moving the ball again.
Finneran lines it up in the middle of the 40. Kayvon Miller, one of two return men back for the Bulldogs, now trailing for the first time tonight after they previously took the lead on a 41-yard field goal at the end of the first quarter. Great kick that's deep and caught at the 8. With a lane and a solid return that ends in front of the Brunswick bench. Kayvon Miller meets the entire Pirates lineup. Mia, what do you have?
Hey, guys, a scary moment on the Bulls sideline as DJ Moore took that very hard hit on what turned into an interception for Brunswick. He is back in the huddle and headed back onto the field with the Bulldogs offense. Several quarterbacks did immediately start warming up, but Moore, after being evaluated by trainers, walked over to his offensive line, gave each of them a high five, and is now headed back onto the field.
And that's good news for Bolles and DJ, and that's a hard hit. That's probably knocked the wind out of him a little bit, and just glad to see this young man back in the game.
And part of the toughness they love about their junior quarterback. Hands it off on 1st and 10. Emmett Grisbin hanging on to that football tightly as he is driven down after a gain of 5.
And immediately you see Bolles go back to do it what Bulldog football does. They're just running the ball, being physical, straight downhill, and just trying to work the clock down and get themselves back in the game.
One of the biggest compliments Coach Toblin had for Brunswick is they just play hard. They're so consistent. They don't like giving up much of anything as they stifled Andrew Jackson's attack. Forward progress out to the 42-yard line. They won that game in week 1, 23-13. That is the current number 16 in the WJXT Super 10 rankings this week. They gutted out a 16-10 win over Camden County last week. Bolles has its hands full right now for the second straight week. Can they grind out another win, this time on the road? 4 minutes into the half, trailing 7-3. Play clock down to 3. On 3rd and 3. Grisbin off tackle, fighting forward, but is stopped short. Ivan Johnson, the only one you need to look at as he throws his arms out. Nothing doing there. It's 4th down again.
And that was a tremendous job by the young man. He made the running back stop his feet in the hole, and Grisbin couldn't get going to get behind his pads, and he let the cavalry come, and they were able to stop him for a short gain. If you have a fake right now, you use it.
They'll keep it simple, trailing 7-3. Far punt, not a lot of air under it. Flag comes in from the near sideline. After a quick run out to the 33, Jaden Drayton tackled and goes back to the offensive huddle.
We haven't called Drayton's name a lot since earlier in the game. See if Brunswick can get him involved again.
Now the Pirates really leaning on Terry Mitchell, William Heck out of the running back spot. Not something you would have expected to say. But so many weapons out of their skill positions. Something Coach Grady loves, despite graduating his top 3 runners from last year's 11-1 team. Not easy to replace 83% of your rushing total from that great team. They've reloaded with great talent. One of them, William Heck, just a sophomore, popped as soon as he reached the line of scrimmage. And the whistles blow it dead.
This Bolles defense, they haven't given up any points tonight. And they're just keeping it simple. They're 3-5 defense and stout up the middle and making sure that Brunswick isn't able to get to the outside.
Breland Madison on the stop, but it's been this entire group up front getting it done for the Bulldogs defense. Towns carries. Is tripped up at the 22. A little stop afterwards. He knew he had a crease and could have broken a big run.
Yeah, that was a good job. You got the 2 pullers coming on the outside and Drayton blocking on the inside and was able to get a good 5-yard gain.
Malone's tackle makes a 3rd and 5 situation. 3rd and 4.
These are the money downs. See if the defense can get off the field.
Elkins all alone in the shotgun. Brings Heck behind him. Bounces to the outside. Finds a lane. And enough space for a Brunswick first down.
And that was a pretty good run right there. They didn't have much early when he bounced it to the outside, but he saw that just had a little crease and was able to get to the yards to the first down, and that keeps the drive going for Brunswick.
Another run to Heck. And that's hurry-up offense. That's what we were talking about. You just need that first down, that 10, 15-yard carry in order for them to move, but they just haven't had enough plays to really get this train off the tracks.
And the tempo, keeping with the tempo.
2-yard gain on first down. A play-action fake to the outside and incomplete.
And that will be the 3rd drop for Kevin Thomas tonight. And young man, you'll have better nights. Maybe not, tonight's not the one. He has a dollar bill on his backpack.
Glass half full. What you want to see is your quarterback delivering that ball on a line. You know you'll be rewarded eventually. Third and 8, the rush comes. Elkins escapes, now fires. And Bolles does its job. After 1 first down, they quickly get it to 4th.
Yep, and there was another money down, and they were able to send a late Mike dog, a little blitz in the middle. And as you can see the dollar bill, and I know the young man is having a rough evening, but I like what Bolles did. They changed it up. They had been rushing 3, and they sent the backer in the middle, and he caused pressure and caused the quarterback to have to scramble and get off his spot.
There will be better days for many of the players out here. That's part of growing up. You find out what you're made of when you go up against championship caliber teams. High punt, but not a lot of distance. A pirate roll will be just enough to get it down to the 44. Credit to Brunswick's defense. Field position hasn't really mattered today. They have been stout no matter where, including in the red zone where they forced a turnover.
Absolutely, and they've been playing a Bolles team pretty good by just being physical up front. They had a little 5-man front, and
hydration break right now, brought to you by Body Armor. Bolles takes over, trailing 7-3 when we return. Welcome back to Brunswick. An interception returned down to the 1-yard line, then punched in by Terry Mitchell, has given Brunswick a 7-3 lead. Out of the timeout, Bolles keeps it on the ground, but they have not had any running room tonight.
And credit the Pirates defense up the middle. They're not over penetrating. They're just making sure that there's a lot of lanes. No one gets out of their position and someone comes to the field and makes the tackle.
Brendan Black trying to get the troops in order. The 6'6 senior trying to get it done up front. Moore to the air, finds Burrows for his first reception since the first quarter, but it's only a quick gain of 2. Black, one of many standouts on the field today. We saw 2 of them from University Christian earlier this afternoon as Riles and Orel Gray really impressed. Maybe it's time to call on the 6'6 tight end Connor Cox on a key third down near midfield.
Absolutely, and this is a big play. It'll be good. Bolles is looking to try to sustain a drive, and they need to do it right now.
Coach Toblin said he's been our safety valve early on this season. Moore facing pressure, steps up, slings it over the middle, but incomplete. Nothing he could do to find Malik Hill, and the punting unit comes out again on back-to-back 3-and-outs.
And that time, Brunswick brought the pressure on Bolles and made DJ Moore kind of have to throw it off the left foot, wrong foot, and not on target on that play.
Terry Mitchell, who has the only touchdown in this game, punched it in from 1 yard out. Barry's angled kick takes a nice roll. Picked up at the 12, and Mitchell doing some dancing and falls forward to the 15. Mia has another update for us on the sidelines.
Thanks, Sean. Just to give you guys an idea of what both teams are talking about in the huddle in a tight game like this, it is absolutely the tiny little details. How about wide receivers are about a couple inches short coming out of their breaks? Wide receivers aren't blocking enough. Offensive lineman's hand position needs to be just a couple inches higher. That is what these teams are talking about in a 7-3 game right now. With that said, for all that talk of wide receivers, both teams committed to the run. Assistant coach Jason Vaughn for the Brunswick Pirates saying to his team, keep running the rock, keep toting the rock. We are going to score on the run, via the run game. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Mia. Well, that's the plan from Coach Grady as they go to the air on first down. Was a forward pass, so just incomplete, not a live ball, and tended to go on the outside. But it's funny because Coach Grady told us this week, I'm an O-line guy. I want to put my hand in the dirt and get out and push somebody on their heels. And it's just funny how you watch certain teams take on the identity of their head coach. Heck moves behind Elkins. On 2nd and 10, good pursuit from the front 7. But Heck carries the Bulldog out to the 18-yard line.
That time they motioned back to the pistol and went off the left side of the line for a short little game. We're back in that same situation. This is turning into a field position game, and it'll be good for Bolles for them to get off the field if they want to get good field position.
Martin Geary, some fresh legs off the bench. The sophomore comes up with the tackle, creating 3rd and 6. Both teams struggling to move the ball, and so far in the 3rd quarter. Bulldogs show pressure. Immediately off the edge. Elkins gets free and gives himself up after just a gain of 1. If he even got a yard, they'll actually put him down at the 19. And that's really because Jackson Brill was shot out of a cannon on this play.
Right, and I like what Bolles did. They mixed it up a little bit. They had been in a 3-man front. They brought pressure that time and not enough numbers to block it up and cause the quarterback to have to slide.
J.R. Elkins also saw Joey Schellenberg and said, I'm going to make a business decision here. I'm just going to go down. That's what we've seen Bolles rip out the football on 2 separate occasions tonight. Line drive punt going towards Lampkins. Nice job tonight by both special team unit. They're really trying to keep it out of the most dynamic players each squad represents.
They've done a pretty good job, and based on that last possession, Bolles gained, 7 yards. So they got the last possession. They started at the 45-yard line, and they're at the 47 on the other side. So, game of inches in football, and it's going to be who's going to be able to do something first to get a big play.
So Mia was just talking about the little things. 1:34 to play in the third quarter. Quickly, what is the small thing Bulls has to do to have a successful drive here?
I think they should throw it on first down. They've been kind of conservative on first down. This time, like they have the matchup they want, no safety in the middle of the field. Take a shot.
Starting on the plus side of the field. From the 48, they air it out. Burrows popped. A big hit from Keon Leggett. And Burrows is still down.
And that was a big-time hit. It was legal. Legal hit. They tried to throw the out route. And that's a long throw, even for a college or NFL quarterback. And the ball, for the receiver, it just seems like the ball is in the air forever. And he bobbled it, and Leggett came in and separated him from the ball.
Burrows comes off under his own power. It's good to see from the very talented freshman. That's just a great football hit we saw.
That's a good play on both ends.
Bulls resets on 2nd and 10. A fake for Moore. Now starting to dance. And slides down at the 42.
And sometimes you got to go back to what you're really, really good at. And that time, DJ Moore was electric on that short run. I would try to, if I'm Bolles, I would try to give a little zone read action and see if you can get the quarterback out in space.
And they try to mold him into that more of a pocket passer. Haven't seen much of his athleticism on display. Now alone in the gun on 3rd and 4. Moore. A quarterback draw. Fighting towards the line to gain. He's got it.
Thank you, Coach Tobin. But no, I think Coach probably saw his athleticism and was like, you know what? Let's get our dynamic quarterback in space, spread them out, and then they'll have better run lanes for the other guys.
Part of his maturation from his sophomore to junior year has just been recognizing situations. Coach Tobin saying, he's really had a knack for, okay, this is what we should do on first down. This is what we should do in the red zone on 3rd and short. That play works to perfection there as they give it up the gut. For the first time tonight, we see Ty Neal, the other stud sophomore in the running back room for Bolles. And a nice game down to the 33.
Now they're wearing on them a little bit, putting fresh bodies. They got a drive going, and it's going to be a great fourth quarter coming up after we come back.
Bolles pulls its offense to the sideline. Final seconds expire in the third quarter. 12 more minutes on the clock at Glenn County Stadium tonight. It's been a defensive struggle all night. Can either offense break through? Behind an interception return down to the 1. Terry Mitchell punches it in to give Brunswick a 7-3 lead as we head to the fourth quarter in the Georgia-Florida Border Classic. The Pirates ahead 7-3 on their home fields. But the Bulldogs starting to piece together a drive with DJ Moore. Surveying and dumps it out of bounds. Coaches on the Bulldogs sideline may be looking for a flag. They won't get one.
Yeah, NFL veteran Todd Fordham over there works with the O-line, but DJ tried to hold on to the last minute to see if he can get a receiver to come over, but it was just good defense down the field for the Pirates.
The pursuit from Jordan Jimerson, one of several seniors on this defensive front. And a frustrated Bolles' offense all night. Third and 7. Grisbin in 4-down territory. Muscles ahead down to the 30.
So you got decision time, either 4th and 3 or attempt the 47-yard field goal.
Offense doesn't hesitate on 4th and 3. More resets after the hard count doesn't get the defense to jump. Moore put down behind the line. Devin Smith.
And that was just good coverage down the field. Moore had nowhere to go with the ball, and that gave the defensive line an opportunity to get to him. And it was just outstanding job. The quarterback looks left, DJ looks left, right, and before he can get to his third read, the defense closes in on him. And just give credit to this Brunswick Pirate defense. They've been on the field a little bit now. They're just maintaining their hold.
It's part of the challenge Coach Grady put to his senior class. Mitchell gets the handoff. Has a lane. A first down and more. Into Bulldog territory before he's pushed out of bounds at the 41.
And that was just speed and being able to get to the outside and got in the open space. And once this young man Mitchell gets in the open space, he shows how dynamic of a runner he is.
Quickly back on the ground. That hurry-up offense with a gain of 4 behind Drayton.
And now the tempo comes. Keeps wearing Bolles down now.
Talking about the senior class, they've been knocked out in the second round every single year, including in 2021 when they were 11-0 heading into a matchup against Duckula. They've answered the call to start this year. 2 big wins already, trying to grind out a third. To the outside for Towns. Another first down as he's forced out of bounds.
And right now, they're keeping it simple. They're not throwing it on the outside. They're just going to go tempo, not let Bolles make substitutions, and keep running the ball off tackle.
Brunswick's been cycling in 4 different running backs all night. Trying to keep everybody fresh in the waning minutes of this one. Early in the fourth quarter, back on the ground. Immediately wrapped up, the whistle blows before Johnson can break free. And it was Trent Carter who had the initial hit.
And I think at this point of the game, you know, Bolles has only had 3 points up to this moment. This is a big drive right now. It's imperative that Bolles gets a stop, and especially not let the Pirates get another touchdown on the board.
Bolles defense does have 1 red zone stop already. Drayton with the carry, tripped up as he crosses the line, and down before he lost the football.
And Brunswick just keeping it on the ground, not trying to turn the ball over, just making sure they protect the ball and stay clean, as Coach said at halftime.
Bulldogs trying to hold. A crucial stop needed. Nearly 3 minutes into the fourth quarter. The Bulldogs in the middle of a gauntlet of a 3-game stretch. They play Trinity next week. But their hands full right now. As Brunswick struggling with the play clock winding down, Coach Grady uses his first of 3 timeouts.
And I think right now you're going to have this timeout 9 minutes. And Brunswick, you know, they've had a lot of success here. They want to protect this home field.
Take a look. This is what's on the line tonight. Home sweet home for the Pirates. Haven't lost here since September 18th, 2020. And that was to the 4A champs from 2021, Benedictine.
You know, those guys have 9 minutes, and they all want to, at the end of these 9 minutes, go over and be able to go in front of the band and sing the fight song and have a good quality win against a good Bolles team.
The coach talks about it. We built our chemistry in the summer heat, learning to push ourselves to be mentally tough when it's 100-plus degrees out there in the Georgia heat. He said the bus rides, the 7-on-7s, OT8 camp, they're so important, too, in building that bond. And listen, our guys just fed up with losing early in playoffs. We want to be that team that reaches the summit. 3rd and 8 out of the timeout. Mitchell in motion. Trips to the left of J.R. Elkins. The lefty looks over the middle, has Mitchell inside the 10, 1st and goal, Pirates.
And I know we talked about some other players, but Mr. Mitchell has been the playmaker for the Pirates tonight, and he's just been electric.
The Bulldog cramping up on 1st and goal from the 8. Pirates in the red zone, brought to you by Don Mason, State Farm Insurance. A chance to regroup from both sides after a massive 3rd down pickup. Bulldogs trailing 7-3. It just feels like every touchdown worth 2 scores in this one, just on how hard it has been to move the ball really since the first quarter for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see their defense getting a little worn down, but they're not in the end zone yet. You just got 9 yards just to make them have to attempt the kick and keep it a single score game.
See what the Bulls defense can do. Back on their heels. They can even try to hold Brunswick to a field goal, but still plenty of time left in this one to get multiple possessions. But the margin for error so slim at this moment.
Absolutely.
Due to the delay at the start of this game, you can watch the conclusion on news4jax.com and News for Jax Plus. The 10 o'clock news starts right now. Tanner Hogan, one of the most praised defenders from the 11-man unit for the Bulldogs, received probably the biggest shout-out from our call with him. He just said his efforts. A guy who's, look at him, about average size, 6'1", 220, but he shows up every single week, and he's the reason why our run defense is so stout. He's off as Drayton gets the carry on 1st and goal, driven down by Miller, as well as Malone, but inching closer and closer to Pater. 2nd and goal from the 3.
Yeah, the Pirates like this wildcat formation once they get down tight.
Drayton, right as he catches the football, watches his offensive line commit a false start. Hogan comes back in. Enough left in the tank for a Bulls stop here.
Yeah, that'll help the 5 yards that they just earned or was given.
New line of scrimmage, the 7. Drayton hands it off. It's Heck to the end zone. The trickery works to perfection, and Brunswick builds on its lead.
And schemed them up a little bit on that one. I love the call. They had been running Wildcat all night, and quarterback power, and that time they came out with the underneath handoff, and we was able to walk into the end zone for the touchdown.
Maybe the most unusual suspect coming up with some of the biggest plays for the Pirates offense tonight.
Yep, and that's a big touchdown and puts Bolles in a two-score hole.
Kick is good. An 11-point game with 8:06 remaining. Bolles on the ropes against a team that says it wants to win a state championship. Micah, they're making state championship type plays in the second half.
Absolutely. Things weren't going their way in the first half, so they said, you know what? Bolles is a good team, but we're going to show that we're a better team. And it started by just executing on the defensive side of the ball and giving the offense opportunities to score.
Little guy gets a chest bump from his senior O-lineman, Jamal Merriweather. 77 in white, the UCF commit. Helping pave the way on that drive where they pretty much, aside from that one pass on 3rd down, ran it down Bolles' throat.
And so now you have to ask the question, if you're Coach Toblin, do we have enough time to stick with the run game, or do we going to strictly abandon it and start passing? And at this juncture of the game, they might not. They can still run the ball, but they're going to have tempo and get a lot of plays off.
Something they haven't been able to do really all night. Miller and Lampkins back to return. 8:06 to play. Bulldogs offense silent most of tonight. They had a drive in the red zone in the first quarter, but threw an interception in the end zone. Settled for a field goal on another drive from 41 yards out.
And this kickoff and covering don't give Bolles a free opportunity to get some yardage or score.
Finneran punches it downfield. High kick, caught at the 14. Has some running room as he's tackled down at the 33. Looks like a new quarterback is coming in for the Bulldogs on this possession. Mia, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Sean, DJ Moore's night is done, as you can see. His pads, his uniform, all off. He is still in the offensive huddle. Sophomore Ethan Drum takes over for his first game action of 2022 under center for the Bulldogs. They tried to give Moore a go with it, the training staff working with him on throwing. He tried to prove to them that he could throw, he could lift his arms. He argued with head coach Matthew Toblin, but his night indeed is over. It is the sophomore Ethan Drum.
There you go. This is how every Friday Night Lights story begins. He'll hand it off to Grisbin on first down, but once again, nowhere to go as he's slammed down by Kashawn Thomas.
Yep, and the entire second half, Brunswick has just been so stout at the point of attack, just getting penetration, getting to the football, and not letting this Bolles running game get going.
Only a gain of 1 as Drum tries to settle in, trailing by 11. Takes a shot downfield. Bumped out of bounds. Chase Collier wants a flag for contact.
And you can see the young man, Ethan, he has a live arm, and a pretty strong arm, just a little bit of not that accurate on that particular play. But he's going to have to throw the ball around here a little bit to make sure they can get some first down on this play.
Ready to throw on 3rd and 9. Backing up, has this pass batted away. Thomas, and once again Smith in on the pressure, and Bolles will punt with 7:13 remaining.
And I think that's the right call on this play, but just Brunswick is just winning the line of scrimmage, and even if that ball was completed, I don't think it would have gotten the first down. But they're doing a great job in coverage of making sure there's really nowhere to go on every play.
Smith doing a little bit of everything. Had the tackle on 4th and 3 on the last drive. Bats that ball down on 3rd and 9. His punt caught at the 29 by Drayton. Can't reverse his field. And put into the turf after a very quick return.
Absolutely. So you got 7 minutes left. Bolles, whatever their best, bring them everybody. Stop. They got to have a stop on this drive. They can't give up any first down. They can't get up any extended possessions right now.
It's not even points, Mike. We've seen Brunswick run out 4 or 5 minutes at a time, just so leisurely at a few points tonight.
Absolutely. And right now you're going to go, if you're Brunswick, you're going to go into your 4-minute offense and just try to kind of wear this clock down.
It's impressive how fast they can move, but also really slow it down and chew the clock. To the ground game on 1st and 10. Good open field tackle. That run from Zeb Jackson goes nowhere.
Brunswick got a lot of faith in the guys. The young man haven't had a lot of action tonight, and at a critical juncture of the game, he gets his first carry, but he was able to secure the ball and not have a turnover.
We've seen Bolles try to be really opportunistic by punching the football out. They have forced and recovered 2 fumbles tonight. Already approaching the midway point of the final quarter. The orange shorts pointing at the ones in front of them, saying they moved a little early yet again.
And I know it's hard. I know it's hard. It's the end of the game, but you just got to be able to hold your water. You got to be able to stay in there and just wait for the snap.
Not a mistake you see often from the UCF commit Jamal Merriweather. And offers from about half the SEC schools. Another run on 2nd and long. It'll remain the same on 3rd down. 16 to go as we hit 6 minutes to play.
And Bolles is going to have to figure out, okay, we get a stop here. We got to go pretty fast on offense. We got 3 timeouts. And they're going to have to manage the game and see how much time. And it just reset the clock to 40 seconds. So they'll get the ball back if they get a stop under probably somewhere around 4 minutes.
This defense playing as good a game as any coach could hope for. It's just that tough to move the ball for either offense. Still 12 seconds on the play clock. Brunswick in no hurry. Finally with 5, they snap it. A run to the outside for Johnson. Breaks loose for a big gain. On 3rd and 16, the Pirates move the chains and are that much closer to a 3-0 start.
And just a simple double pullers, hand off out the pistol, and they get to the outside, and one missed tackle, and he smartly stays in bounds and keep the clock running.
This Brunswick team is for real. Took down the number 6 team according to our WJXT rankings. Andrew Jackson in week 1. As Kayvon Miller starts to cramp up, we will step aside for a water break. 4:48 to play. This hydration break brought to you by Body Armor. The finale on the other side. The Bolles' leaders on the defensive side. Kayvon Miller comes off the field right after they allow a 3rd and 16 conversion. Now out to the 43-yard line. Coach Toblin's team in a tough spot is Brunswick, like we were just saying. You never know what a team's made of. Yeah, Brunswick was 11-1 last year. They're hoping, even after losing some of their top players, that they could stay at that level. Well, Coach Grady knew he had a team just as capable to keep a perfect record in November, saying we got a goal line stop against Camden County, and our entire team was locked in. Just shows we had been one team so far to start the year. Yeah. Mitchell pushed around by a bunch of orange jerseys, and the play blows dead all the way back at the 39.
And now as the clock is ticking, and you're not sure, Bolles gets another opportunity with this ball, and Bolles they shouldn't just hold their heads down. They came out and played a very talented, physical, big, fast Brunswick team, and it just a couple of plays they had the opportunity to get a pick six, and unfortunately it was a good pass breakup. But if you could make that play and score, how does that change the game? Or you had the double move earlier where the young man had the touchdown and he wasn't able to bring it in. So all those factor into a game.
2nd and 14, back on the ground. Bolles still with all 3 timeouts in its back pocket. Miller comes on before another key 3rd down. That's a good point, and it goes back to what we were saying in the first half. Each coach saying, we're going to look back tonight and say, that play, it was the difference, and one team capitalized on it.
Absolutely. And both teams, like I said, well coached. It was a lot of flags early. They cleaned it up, but they're both giving it all out in the field, and they're just going at it for a full game.
Yeah, it was one dropped, would be pick 6, and then early in the 3rd quarter, an interception from Tavon Gatson. Took it all the way down to the 1-yard line. Terry Mitchell punched it in. Other than that, one offensive touchdown tonight because, come on, we should give the defense credit for that score.
Absolutely, and it's been a defense. Both defenses have been lights out tonight and played a good game.
That's a fact. Timeouts from Brunswick with 2:42 to play. They fumbled it a couple of times. Want to make sure you protect the rock this late in the game. As we get ready to say goodnight, remember, we have an action-packed Saturday schedule for you here on the third and final day of the Georgia-Florida Border Classic, kicking off at 1 o'clock between two teams that are reigning state champions. Fitzgerald and Madison County, two teams, also treating this as a state championship type game.
A lot of good football tomorrow to be played. Good teams, good coach programs, and it should be a exciting finale to the Border Classic.
Football all afternoon and night. Thankful for our great hosts. Glenn County Stadium, this event thought of 10 years ago, but until this turf was put in 3 weeks ago. Just an idea. Hopefully the first of many for the Border Classic. Elkins hands it off. Johnson, who picked up the first down last time, won't get close on this third down run. Bolles trying to strip the football, end up pushing Johnson down to the 48. And the Bulldogs call their first of 3 this half.
All right, so you got 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and a lot of us last Sunday night we were watching a game that we thought was over, Florida State LSU, and some crazy things happened in that last little bit of the game. But for Bolles they're going to have to score quickly. They're going to after this they're going to have to score quickly and try to do an onside kick. But 11 points. It's only a 2-possession game, a field goal and touchdown and a 2-point conversion. So it's still doable, but they're going to need to get some big chunk plays as soon as they get the ball.
Bolles going to have to throw the ball, something they haven't done much and haven't done really successfully all night, but we've seen it. They've taken the chances downfield. It's just been off by a slim margin.
Absolutely, and just working probably when you get the ball, you just work your crossers, see if you can get a couple of early passes and let your guys do the work on the backside of it.
Thanks for answering my next question for me. I was going to ask you, do you try to chip away, or you really don't have the luxury of time in this spot?
Well, yeah, I think you can throw the ball short, because Burrows and the other young men for the Bolles can, once they get the ball in their hands, they can get yards after the catch. But you have to send someone deep and then make the defense adjust.
They're trying to do this with their backup quarterback, DJ Moore, who had a big hit on the interception return down to the 1-yard line, prevented the touchdown. But having his shoulder iced now late in this game. Line drive kick, caught at the 27. Lampkins can scoot. Carrying a tackler out near midfield. It's maybe the spark the Bolles offense has needed all night.
Great job. The first thing, and probably one of the most important things, he came up and he caught the ball so he couldn't roll out and down it. But I like the way he got outside. Bolles has a chance.
What a schedule coming up. Not only at Trinity next week, a team that has a bitter taste in their mouth after getting shut out 35-0 last year. Then Benedictine, another great title contender. And late in the season, Bishop Kenny, much improved team now in Bolles' new district. Hopefully this is the first test that can prepare the Bulldogs for a December run. They set up the screen, but it's dropped by Grisbin. That's just a microcosm of their entire night.
Absolutely, and anytime a team runs, and a lot of professional and college teams, they get in a 2-minute situation, that first play is a screen play to try to kind of see if you can get them off guard. And they had it set up, and they just couldn't complete a pass.
Ethan Drum, the 6'2 sophomore, in at quarterback. Replacing Moore, who you hope will be back up to 100% for next week's showdown. 2nd and 10, still 2 timeouts. Slinging it to the sideline. It's caught by Cox and dives out of bounds, but only a gain of 3 yards.
And once again, the Pirates are just sitting in their zones. They're playing it back. anything underneath, they're going to come up and just make the tackle and just keep the clock moving.
Yeah, they're not dropping back into a prevent or anything. This might as well be 2:09 left in the first quarter.
And they've been battling all game, so they know the speed. They know what's going to happen, and they just want to make sure not to give up any trickery or quick plays.
Third and 7. Clock stopped at 2:09. To the outside again, but sailed into the sideline. Trying to find Chase Collier, and now here's your ball game. After Brunswick defense was on its heels much of that first quarter, they have slammed the door on any opportunity for the Bulldogs.
Absolutely. I think they're able to get pressure without blitzing, and then the backers are able to quickly come up to the ball.
Looking for one final stop. Over the middle, caught by Burrows. Has the first down. 2-minute offense, have to hustle. 12-yard pickup on the fourth down conversion. Clock starts to run inside of 2 minutes. Drum downfield, nearly intercepted. Johnson had it slip right through his hands and knows he had an opportunity to put this on ice.
And the young quarterback kind of just stared that ball. He stared the receiver down, and it was a good ball, but just at no level can you just stare at one receiver, and that's going to give the safety a chance to break on the ball.
Downfield again. This time it's intercepted. Run back by Keon Leggett. That will do it. A dominant defensive effort. And Brunswick is going to pick up an eye-popping win against the Bulldogs.
And just an overthrow, a three-man rush. He had time. It just the quarterback was unable to fit the ball in the window. And just like all night, Keon Leggett and the rest of his defensive backfield, they've just been all over the Bulldog receivers.
Had it the whole way. Drum had to come in with about 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter to replace Moore. All the credit deservedly goes to the Pirates and their defense.
And I think both of these teams have a lot to be proud of. These are two really good teams. We already knew they were going to be well coached, but big, physical, to a war of attrition. But I just like what Brunswick does. They didn't panic when they weren't being able to get everything going, but they just show the talent and the resolve that they have.
Coach Brady going to get a third impressive win to start the season in his head coaching career. He joked and said, I'm 34 years old, taking over as Drayton has a big gash. In a foot race with Miller. Down at the 1 yard line. If you thought Brunswick was going to go in the victory formation and just take a knee, you thought wrong based on how this night has gone.
Yeah, I thought they were going to take a knee, but hey, that's why you play the game, and it'd be interesting. It could lead to an interesting handshake, but this Florida-Georgia, no love lost.
They're still going for it at the 1. Drayton sneaks in. It ain't over till it's over.
And you have to stop him. I personally, I would have taken a knee and gotten out and shaken hands. But hey, listen, got to stop him. That's why you play the game the entire game.
Big run by Drayton sets up his touchdown on the ground.
And at this point, Bolles has been on the field a lot lately, and, just credit Brunswick offense.
Third rushing touchdown is that ball hits the crossbar. 20-3 our score in the final minute of the fourth quarter, so apologize in the middle of saying. Coach Grady talking about this team and how much talent and maturity they possess.
They're a quality, solid team. In the state of Georgia, they have a lot of good teams. And, these type of tests help you later down the road. Now, when it comes to November, early November, and you're playing in meaningful games, you're going to have to be able to show the same grit and resolve that they did tonight against a good Bolles team.
After he was hired and promoted, I should say, after being the offensive coordinator for 5 years, he said felt like I was drinking out of a fire hose because it was just so much coming at me so fast. I didn't realize the responsibilities of being a head coach. But he said, we settled in, the water pressure's down. It was nice as these kids know me. They know my style, what I'm about. They jumped on board, and we said, what, let's do this thing. And they looked like, again, they are up to the task in bringing a state championship home.
Yeah, good team, good program, and good thing they have going down here in Brunswick.
Keeping it on the ground with this kickoff. Lampkins fields it inside the 20. Now cuts it to the outside. And driven down by Leggett. After the interception that set up the touchdown. Making the impact on special teams like so many great players do.
After this game, Bolles will have a lot of good film to be able to analyze and see what went well and what didn't go so well for them. I think they had opportunities like we talked about, but sometimes you just got to give credit to the other team.
Let's see what Bolles goes with here in the final seconds. Doesn't get any easier next week against the number 1 rated team in the Super 10 rankings from WJXT. But a good learning opportunity as Grisbin comes up with a catch on this screen. Has a run out to the 40 for a first down.
One good thing about this for Bolles is this team is kind of similar to Trinity with athletes and big guys. So Bolles has had their number in the past. So
they'll be on the road again next Friday night. To the outside, Lampkins has it. Another first down with 5 seconds left. Time for one more snap if the Bulldogs hurry. Clock rolling with 2, now 1. They don't get it off in time. A dominant defensive performance from Brunswick.